Today I'm going to be making a huge golden swipe. We're also going to add in my super easy 3D paste technique. I have to tell you that this piece actually surprised me because it morphed into something totally different from what I planned. Let's get right into it. If you really like this flower and you would like to support the channel, you can head over to my website where you will find this piece for sale, abcreativeofficial.com. I was planning to do part 2 of my Kitty in the Jungle episode, but probably first time ever, I don't feel like doing any blues today. I don't feel like doing anything light. I just fancy something dark and different. For those of you who really enjoyed the tiger, I will still do the other part, no worries. I've also been using the square canvases for quite a few weeks, and I fancied the long one again. Since I'm going to make it dark, it would make sense to perhaps paint the edges just in case they don't get covered properly. I don't have any more black mix, so I'm actually going to show you how I mix my paint. This is the Floetrol I use. It's much thicker than the American one, and as you can see, I'm straining it because it can be a bit blobby. I said I usually use 1 part of paint to 1 part of Floetrol. But nothing will happen if I add some more without measuring. You can see I don't measure. This is all approximate. And I'm mixing it really well. So this is absolutely too thick. It's absolutely fine just to add water to get the right consistency. I have my own mix and I just like it, but it's my personal preference. I think every pouring person, you know, at the end finds what works for them. So what I did, this is half and half PVA glue and water. So that's the third part. And now you should all get the right consistency. And if I'm using a technique that requires thinner paint, I'll just spray some more water. At the moment, I'm happy with that. I'll show you. Hopefully, I know it's black, so it's not the easiest to see, but it runs off really nicely. Very important, it's an uninterrupted stream, really flowing. Well, it also depends on the paint, because sometimes when I use heavy body Liquitex, I have to mix so much longer. This one, this is, I think it's Dalerani, yes, Dalerani. This paint is very smooth, very pleasant to mix. It will be difficult to believe, but these are the only colors I'm going to use at the moment. I'll show you the consistency of the gold. Gold seems always to be thicker once you mix it, so then you have to adjust and make sure that, add some water, make sure they're both the same. All right, time to spread black. Could paint something fast. No worries, I'm just being a bit silly. I think that's a very generous amount without any wasting, so I can proceed with the gold. I'm going to add a couple of drops of silicone to the gold. Honestly, I don't think I've ever made a gold swipe on black that had a gold swipe over black. My favorite, well, there's actually dimethicone in here, silicone product is the coconut hair serum. But I know that lots of you get confused with coconut oil. It's absolutely not coconut oil, nothing to do with cooking. Let's mix it. I'm going to do this swipe, but I still don't know what I'm going to do next. This is like a little bit of a mystery canvas for me. Now you'll see why I like those bizarre containers, because I can bend them. I'm sure that's more than enough. Oh, that's just the right size, maybe. Well, I'm going to make it more comfortable for myself and make it a bit wider. All right, now we want the napkin a bit moist. Don't spread this way, you gold, come on. Position it gently. I always have to stand. Oh, I'm not going to torch it. Once it's dry, it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty spectacular. I'll just put a little bit more here. And I'll swipe like this. I should actually turn the canvas so I'm more comfortable. Sorry. I have my perfect angle to swipe. Oops. I see all the patterns from silicone. Well, I might torch it if you want. Let's see what happens. A bit more. I don't think that's necessary. I'm just adding a little bit to the edge. Oops. Okay. Okay, can you see all the lacing? And don't worry about the midsection, this is not going to be seen. All right, leaving it to dry and see what will come to my mind. Super shiny at the moment, and I'm thinking what to position here. I'm thinking red, maybe because it matches my nails today. I thought red at the beginning with the black and gold. Red's coming. I'm not sure whether I want a poppy or anemone or a cross of both. Started sketching something. I don't even know whether that's the angle I want. This is for my paste, so it doesn't have to be perfect because I will be, of course, adjusting while I'm applying my paste. Midsection somewhere here and all those dotty bits. Let's see if it will look good with flower like that, unfolded, or should I make another one? So I don't mind it actually, you know, getting over the lines, to be honest. It's going to be interesting if it does. And which way? This way? Or the other way? And of course I want the majority of this gold to disappear. I just want some of the faint lines, so like that. Or should I change the angle of this one and get over? Not sure. I just want it slightly different, so maybe I'll do this sleeve towards this section and the stem coming like off the canvas and then coming back. Would that be interesting? I want something different. So let's rub it off and adjust the petal. I am adjusting it straight on the canvas, kind of thinking that I want a gap between those two. So let's make a gap. And this one, something like that. And now I do want, how do I want this? This has to be slightly changed, so I want it a bit lower. So actually part of the petal will be seen and curved like this. Something like that. Maybe a bit lower, a bit longer. As you can see, super simplistic, actually pretty crude. This is for me to know where to position it and how I want it now. Which do I want it, this way or the other way? I'm kind of wondering which way will look better. I can do both. Well, I don't know which one will be nicer. I'm covering majority here, so that makes me feel happy. Made up my mind, I want it facing left. I always prefer drawing towards left. Do you have your favorite side? It's the easiest way to check which way would you draw someone's profile. I would always draw it left. I would find it difficult this way. Anyway, okay, so my anemone or whatever it is, poppy cross, is going to be facing this way. I'll tape it down so I can transfer it very quickly. I could cut it out and draw it around if you find this technique difficult. I know I'm doing it on black in some places, but I will still see the lead, there's no problem. If you're using soft pencil, it will always transfer. And also, it doesn't have to be perfect. If I make a mistake, I'll adjust it with the paste, that's it. So, super quick. And then for your sake, I might go over some sections with white or lighter versions so you can see where we are. Funny, you can see much better on black because it's so shiny. You can still see here the gold. I could go over with Posca pen, but you can see that. All of them are really well seen. So it doesn't matter that the background is dark. Ready to make the petals. This is the paste that I made for my previous 3D tutorial, and I'm showing there exactly how to mix it. So if you want to check how to mix it, it's in this video. This is all-purpose filler and super heavy gesso. I made sure that the end doesn't get dry, so I covered it with some sellotape. See if it works now. It should be working. Let me test it on something, and the end will be a bit dry. Well, the rest is flowing really nicely. Perfect. I'm always choosing which petal to do first, and I am going to do this one. I've decided to adapt it slightly, make it a bit thinner here, because I want to see some of those golden swipes. I'll be turning the canvas to make it more comfortable. This is a very big flower, so I don't have to worry too much how I'm going to apply it. I'm just roughly following my design. And now I'm kind of thinking that I want to adjust it slightly. I'm going to use Posca pen so that you can see better. And then a little bit of a gap between those two. So there was a gap, but I think I want it a bit bigger. Something like, even like that. So we'll see a bit of this gold peeping through. Now I can see better. So that's super easy. Okay, I'm doing the outlines. Doesn't matter at all. I want it so much thicker. So I'm going to fill it up basically with quite a lot of paste. I could have cut the nozzle, but I still want some precision, so I'm applying it in layers. So it's quite a lot. Meanwhile, I'm putting this in a jar so the end doesn't get dry. And I'm going to spread it. For spreading, it's super important to have a wet brush. Not soaking wet, but just wet. Moist. I suppose I could put much more on top. Also, it's possible to do it in layers, so wait for the first layer to dry. And then apply some more. This piece is inspired by my big blue flower. I really liked, but I always wanted to make something darker as well. I must admit that since I discovered this all-purpose filler and started playing with this technique and mixing my own 3D paste, this is the best thing that happened to me this year as far as art is concerned. I just love the paste. And of course there are many other pastes on the market that you could try. I enjoy making my own, and it's also on budget. I think the American version will be called spackle, or I don't know, wall putty.
And it's so forgiving. It's almost impossible to make a mistake because you can just wipe it, you know. You're working on a dry background, you can wipe all your mistakes. So now I am considering either leaving it and applying more, or adding more straight away. This is the moment I'm waiting for your advice. On the other hand, I wouldn't like to add so much and then have to make another lot. I'll add a bit. Also, this is the time that you can make some lines inside.
I'm leaving really nice patterns on the petal, making it look quite natural. Think about the direction. When you are applying the paste, you should be thinking about direction of your brush. I can do this one because this one doesn't touch anything else. And yes, when you're thinking I am covering all the gold, I was actually planning on covering most of the gold. There are hints of gold in the background anyway, and I want the midsection to be amazing, like really amazing. Haven't thought about it yet, but I know I want it pretty special. Alright, so exactly the same. I think I missed, I'm just checking if I missed anything here. I'm wondering, should I go behind? Should I do the... Yes, I think it's going to be interesting if I actually finish the petal on the side. What do you think? It's going to be original. Didn't think of it first, but why not? I've done a couple of my pieces like on this side, and I thought it was interesting. My favorite, actually my son's ever favorite, is the octopus. If you haven't seen the octopus, it was fun. It was great fun, this one. Oh, by the way, lots of you asking me whether I do have a website. Yes, I do have a website with my pieces. It's abcreativeofficial.com, where you can buy many of my originals. There are also some discounts. Okay, now let me see. I didn't draw this one. Oh, I think this should be a bit bigger. Alright, so I'm going to do this, but I won't bore you, and I'll be back with the ones that are on top, because that'll be more interesting. The last one, as you can see, I covered this end with the previous one, but that's alright. That's why I have this here, so I can keep checking if I need to adjust something. So you see how I've been adapting it? That was the design. I kind of altered it slightly. So this is going to be the thickest part. Look at all the patterns now. You know, if something goes wrong, just wipe it with another brush. I'm wondering if I have any paste left, you know, for the midsection and for the stem. Now this is going to be quite big. Okay, and now I want, but I can't use this paste because I want some really thin lines, because I want lots of those little filaments. So I might leave it and then add them once everything is dry, because I'll probably struggle with this one. That's probably big enough. Okay, I'll leave it, but I still want to add a stem, and I want it in an interesting way. I will do a mock-up with the string, perhaps. How about that? Or with something else? I want something like this. Wouldn't that be interesting? So let me just draw this part. Well, you know what? Honestly, it's going to be easier doing with the paste, I think. I realized I have a paste that's different color. So I can use this because the stem is going to be painted anyway, something different. Let's see what color that was. Oh, I think this one was brown or black. Oh, I know what I did. Some time ago I made the sakura tree branch with a bird, and that's what I used. But I wanted to go off here. I think I needed more curved. No. Okay. I wanted more curved. And I want it thicker, so no worries. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Totally messing it all up now. You know, I have to like the angle. If I don't like it, I won't be happy. Actually, can go off the canvas ever so slightly. I'll just be back. Now, how do I want it here? Maybe I should do this yellow. I can't make up my mind. Okay, I'll do it from here. Oh yeah. Okay, I managed to do it well. I managed to do at least this part well. So I like it. I do like it. Now just stay on the line. I even don't mind this color, you know. Let's put it together nicely. I mentioned before that I wanted to make a smaller ending for my, I think they are called anthers or filaments. I'm checking now. Oh, that's really thin. Okay, perhaps tiny bit bigger, just to be seen better. That looks perfect. I might add a bit more paste here to the petals, but at the moment I'm pretty happy with them. So let's start with these. I'm planning quite a lot of them, so I need to squeeze it more because it's half empty. Are we one on top of the other? That's fine. I think they're going to be very cute. All right, so I'll continue all around, and then maybe I should wait for them to dry and then I'll add another layer on top because I want many more. I think it's going to be super cute. I was considering adding them later once I've painted the flower, but I don't think that will make a big difference. And now I need a bit bigger because I want to add some endings. Don't know if they are dots or they are slightly elongated. They do have some kind of thicker endings anyway, and I want to add a bit more. I can start painting now, and I've collected some reds. Looking at the difference. So what do we have? Cadmium red, scarlet, vermilion, and crimson. This is, you can see, this is the darkest, you can see straight away. However, the vermilion shade is more of a warm red, and I bet you can see the hint of orange in it. I think I'm going to go with one of those as a base color, and then these will be used for highlights and shadows. I've got heavy body acrylic here, but because I'm painting with a brush, it doesn't matter. This paint is not the easiest to mix when you're making pouring acrylics, but it gives you a very, very nice pigmented product. These are lovely as well. They are softer and they are very easy to mix, and they are also highly pigmented. I finished my Artezas. I did have Scarlet Arteza as well and Cadmium Red. I'm going to paint straight. Oh, we definitely need at least one layer to cover all the bits. I thought it would look so nice with black and gold. I could have gone with something lighter and beigey. I don't know, I just fancied bright red. So I think my flower is a cross between a poppy, I love poppies, and anemone. I don't know why, but I had this idea halfway through, what if I make it lighter? Honestly, like pinkish. Does that look nice? Oh, that's an interesting color. Look at this, even wiping it off makes it look pretty real, doesn't it? Wow, I'm actually painting with a baby wipe. I'm liking the effect. This is so funny. Look at this. Okay, that's just fine. Let's just start with pink and then we'll be adding more color. I was rushing so much that I forgot about something very important that I always do. I always add white first. And I thought I did, but I didn't, so... Oh well, it's going to be light pink now. I want more paint on it to make it completely waterproof. I might actually end up liking this light pink. It's a bit too quick with the edges. That's a pretty color as well. Oi, decisions. So I might as well repeat the same thing with the other petals. I am definitely I love this color. This accidental color. What do you think? I am liking it. Sorry, sorry guys. So completely by accident what happened from red to this. Oh, happily painting another one. Now with just light pink. Somehow halfway through like the pink. And it's like a warm pink. Some of it is like a bit of salmon here. I will go into this section as well in a minute. So what started red now ends up being light pink. And I'm not wiping anything off, I'm basically applying the light pink and then a little bit of white. Very easy, very nice job. I'm using a small brush for the edges and the big one to spread the paint. I got to the point that I need to now paint between those little lines using a very, very small brush. And if I paint those anthers pink, it doesn't matter because they'll be painted later on. I think I need a bit darker pink here. I'm actually surprised by myself this time, because when I was planning the background, in my wildest imagination, I wasn't thinking pink. Since I've made the flower pink, I'm a bit upset about this gold not going well. I am going to make it slightest of it. But now, in hindsight, if I was to paint the flower red, I would... No. So I would rather try something else. This is as little as possible. I could also do a couple of drips. This is so little that you can, all you can see is just You see what happened? Just a tiny blush on the gold, and that will be probably enough to justify the pink flower. I wish I swiped with rose gold. That will be no problem for this. If somebody's going to do that, rose gold will be your friend if you're doing a pink flower. Since you know why I did what I did and why I changed, let's just leave it like this. Pinky film on top of it in some places to unify it together. Well, you have, in front of your eyes my whole creative process with mistakes, correcting, changing, everything. And yes, I know some of you may be not happy with some of the changes, but I have to have some peace of where it's going. Otherwise, I will be very unhappy. I just needed something to make this gold less greeny, because it had this kind of green shimmer that I wasn't too happy about. What do we want the mid part and the stem? Has to be something that will go well with now those colors. So I've got a little bit of brown, burnt umber, black, and this red. Just mix it so that's a deep brown. Let's put a bit of white. I am just super experimenting, checking if that will look good. So it's kind of this color. Not that I was planning on it. I don't mind. Maybe let's test it. Oh yeah, but because I added some of this pink, it kind of gives us an interesting color that hopefully goes well with whatever I've been doing. And let's just do the stem the same color, just for fun. I am planning on some embellishments, of course. At the moment, all I'm thinking is about a pleasing color combination. What do you think? Is this kind of, I don't know how to call it, hot cocoa, hot chocolate color? Well, many of you don't know, but every single episode, when we edit for YouTube, there are lots of cuts. My lovely patrons, they actually see like 100% more. There are some episodes 150% more footage. So if you're really into making something identical, I'm sure you would benefit from that. Well, I should probably mention at this point that yes, there are many people copying my designs. So I would really appreciate if you post on social media to mention source of your inspiration. That would be fantastic. Since I painted the midsection this brownish color, I've decided to add some to the, just create some shadows with a similar color. I thought it needs to be a bit darker, not so pinky. All right, so before I'm going to apply the gold leaf, I'm going to touch up those tiny parts with gold paint. I've got this Amsterdam acrylic, light gold. You know what? I think I might do a better job with my finger. Let's spread it a bit. I think that looks good. Time for the gold leaf now. That's the gilding paste I'm using by PBO. Once you apply it, you have to wait roughly 15 minutes. I'm going to predominantly touch those edges, but maybe a couple of those lines as well. And we leave it, and I'll be back in 15 minutes. I think it's looking good. All right, time to take them off and let's see. See if I like it. Have a look at this. That's so pretty. Okay, I think I'm happy. I can leave it to dry completely and be back with some varnish. Say that I really loved both this piece and my previous blue flower. Please let me know which one of the two is your favorite in the comments. If you'd like to help support the channel, why not check out my Patreon, where you gain access to extended versions of my weekly reviews, or head over to my website abcreativeofficial.com. Every one of my pieces is unique and original, and I ship all over the world. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye!